Hey y'all, Melissa here, January 21st, 2025. Welcome back to our small farm life vlog at Twin Oaks Family Farm, the name of our happy home place in rural Southeast Ohio, USA, and the name of our YouTube channel. Some fun things to update y'all on today. We are going to go check chickens. So checking chickens in 9 degrees Fahrenheit and the other hard things that I am working on today. So it is like winter wonderland. No joke, we've had about 2 weeks of pretty frigid conditions. We had lots of snow, then it got single digits and sub-zero. It was, I don't know, it's like 9 degrees now. It was 2 degrees when I was out earlier this morning. I know before daybreak when all the guys went to work, it was like negative something, negative single digits, but negatives. So anyway, so we are going to go do another check on the water situation and the egg situation. Hopefully we gather some more eggs. We're trying to keep egg sales up. So that's one hard thing that we're working on. Is the hardest thing in cold weather with your livestock is just water, keeping water to them. Well, first and foremost, shelter is a big deal. When it's going to be frigid, the animals need some kind of shelter. If they can just get in, out of the extreme conditions, get a windbreak, stay dry, that helps them so much. It's looking out too. I thought I heard a state truck out on the state road, but the roads are clear. It's just really, really cold. Although we are supposed to get more snow this evening. I don't really know how we're going to get more snow. It feels like the temperature is too cold to snow. That's really a thing. So, but anyway, shelter is a big deal. So like here at home, all we're taking care of is chickens and a couple of outside dogs. They've been in the house when they were younger and house broke and are well taken care of, but they prefer to be outside. And then we do have 2 house dogs, but the chickens are outside, and there's about, we were at 108 chickens, and then we moved in 14, so 122, if I'm doing my numbers right. My brain doesn't math as well when it's cold, so anyway, I think 122 chickens, but shelter is the biggest help for the chickens, for us with the chickens, but keeping water thawed is a big deal. So we'll show you that situation, and then staying on top of keeping eggs gathered, because when it gets this cold, if there's any kind of lag between when the hen lays the egg and when we gather it, if they don't set on the egg and it's exposed to the cold temperatures, you can get your egg freezing, and that'll cause it causes the contents to expand, and it causes a stress crack in the shell, and it basically busts it from the inside out instead of something busting it on the outside, in which case if it just busts on the outside, a lot of times the inner membrane is fine. We don't sell those eggs, but we will use them at home. We are comfortable storing them properly and cooking them thoroughly and consuming them ourselves, but we won't include them in sales eggs. But in the case of an egg freezing, we really can't ever save that egg, at least not for us to cook for ourselves. I'll share a great tip on that though that a viewer shared, but at any rate, when it freezes and it busts from the inside out, you know, it ruins the inner membrane too. So as far as for us, for human consumption, even within our household, then we can't salvage the egg for that. But there was a viewer, I believe Mindy Ross was the name, shared a tip with the eggs, even if they like freeze in the coop and you find them. Mindy Ross's comment, one of the comments, shared that they save those eggs, like even the frozen eggs and any of the eggs that the hens break or any that we might accidentally break on the countertop or something when we're handling it or when we're gathering it, and puts all those in a container that can be sealed and stored like in the fridge, and then all those eggs can actually be put in a pan on the stovetop and cooked and scrambled up, eggshell and all, and actually fed back to the hens. And that's a really super idea, because that's, the egg itself is good nutrition for the hens. The eggshell itself is good calcium boost for the hens. So that's a way, even the eggs that are blemished beyond what you might consider fine to keep in your household and consume, those can still be safe too, and they can be cooked and fed back to your chickens. My hand's getting cold. But also, to add to that, we have those 2 outside dogs. Our 2 inside dogs don't like eggs at all, but our 2 outside dogs do. They love either eggs scrambled and put in their bowl or over their food, or just a raw egg busted and put over their food. We never let them go into the hen house and get them, only because we don't want to establish any kind of behavior pattern where that's accepted by us, where they perceive that we're okay with that, because we don't want them going in the hen house, or even if we'd have a rogue hen lay eggs out in the yard, we don't want our dogs perceiving that it's okay with us for them to snatch eggs. But we are okay with changing the perception of the egg, like from the whole egg to the scrambled egg, and giving them to the dogs that way, or, you know, busting the contents of the egg into their dog food and letting them eat that. So lots of ways. Even though if an egg freezes and it's ruined, that comment from Mindy Ross, shout out to you all. Thank you for sharing that with us. That shows that there's still a lot of use in those eggs. You can actually save them in that container, sealed, stored in the fridge. And when you get some built up, you know, you can cook them, give them back to your hens if you want, shell and all. You can do the same thing with your dogs if your dogs have a taste for eggs, and they'll enjoy that. And it's good for them. It's a great snack, great nutrition boost, and there's nothing artificial in it. So let's go check the Rhode Island red pullets and the 14 new hens that we got, and then we'll check the older group of girls. And so that hard thing will be done, being out in the cold and keeping up with them. The other hard thing that I'm doing is a 24-hour fast, water only, no solid food, nothing extra in the beverages, you know. Like sometimes I put apple cider vinegar in water, or like I like tea with lemon, or put lemon in the water, but this is just a 24-hour fast, just water, nothing else. So I'll tell you about that, but let's head into the barn here. Okay, there's one of the new girls, and actually there's some of them grouping together, and these are some of the Rhode Island red pullets that have been in here. So the water situation, I want to kind of show you. So we have the de-icer in there, and it's absolutely keeping that free flowing. But where it freezes up on us in these is where it comes down into the tray. So we're just frequently, for now, just putting water in the tray and keeping a couple other water sources available. Those 2 at that water, the one on the left is a new hen that moved in less than 24 hours ago, and the one on the right is one of the Rhode Island Reds. So the Rhode Island Red there is like 3 months old. There's another one, the Rhode Island Red's 3 months old. I just approached there. Okay, so, and then a little water there. Now I want to show you something over here. They're not one-legged. They're just keeping 1 foot up, staying warm. So I want to show you something over here, though, if we can approach this. So there's 14 of these gals that moved in less than 24 hours ago, and we kind of had to just make things work. We didn't have a lot of time to plan for them, so we do have in the works some plans for getting some material and putting up some coops, trying to get material in about 4 days on Friday evening, and then hopefully work on some coops over the weekend. But check back here. And the goal is the 14 new hens, to get them their own place to move into. And actually all the Rhode Island red pullets, and there's like 50 some of them, we also want to get them out of this building. Okay, so look here. Looky here. And that's fine, sister. So this is one of the new hens. Okay. And this is one of the new hens. And so we were told when we picked them up that that morning, so just the day before we're recording here, they had laid, of the 14, 10 eggs had been collected. So they're laying hens. So we thought, you know, we may see some eggs, or, you know, that's a lot of stress, like being gathered up and put in the livestock crates for transport and being transported a few miles and moving into a new place, and it's super cold. So we're not high expectations for eggs right away, but you know, we want to keep checking because of the freezing conditions to see if they're laying any eggs in here. And we didn't set up nest boxes because, you know, our experience with chickens is that, you know, nature takes over. They find a way. If they want to find a place to lay eggs, they find a place. You know, if they have water available, food, look at that. And y'all just saw her lay an egg. I mean, I know we didn't get to see the egg laid. At least yeah, she did. You can't see it yet. I know you didn't get to actually see the egg. Yeah, see, there you go. And you can tell it's shiny, still has the bloom on it. It's not cured yet. You know, well, the bloom's on it, but it still has that moist look to it. It's not cured yet. So she's done. She's done at the office. And look at this. You see the steam? Y'all can't see it. So the steam coming off the egg. Because remember, outside it's 9 degrees. The hen's body is like 103 degrees. And so that egg comes out at 103 degrees. So these are both new hens. They were in the same flock. And so it's awesome. The whole flock got to stay. Now, I don't know what the situation is here. Okay. And I don't want anybody breaking that egg. And she may just want to sit and lay an egg as well. But I want to try to get here. I want to go ahead and try to get the egg. There we go. There you go. Freshly laid egg, y'all. So the shavings is sticking because, you know, there's some moisture on the egg when it's laid by the hen. And that cures quickly and sets. So she may just want to sit there as well and lay an egg, right? So these gals are doing good, but as I said, we didn't build in nest boxes because this is not permanent. And our experience with chickens is, you know, they find a way. If they need a place to lay eggs, they figure it out. And we knew we had this here. We block out the corners when we have, and I think she wants to just lay an egg. I don't know how long she'll take. I don't know that we'll get it recorded. But we block out corners when we raise meat birds. So we actually just had not removed this panel. So we left it then when we moved these in, kind of thinking that would be a place that they could go behind. She may want to lay an egg. She may be waiting for me to skip out so that she has a little privacy. So they're being active. So it is cold, but we know, you know, we can watch their behavior and they're moving around. They're being active. So we know they're relatively comfortable. The Rhode Island Reds are a little put out by them coming into the space. And we're seeing the Rhode Island Reds basically just stay together as a group. But again, it's temporary. Just like the freezing cold, it's temporary. So I want to go back over here and see if she laid down. But the short wall there is also something that functions with our meat birds. And the older gals here that moved in, they used it as a roosting perch. Here's one of the Rhode Island Reds. So, okay, so let's just see over here. I think she's still back there. It'd be cool if you get to see her lay an egg. She is sitting there. I think she is laying. She's close to laying. So there's some nesting behavior when they're preparing to lay an egg. These are nice hens. We're really excited they were here. These 14 are basically rehome hens. They have been well taken care of and were very well loved. But part of their enclosure got collapsed in from the snow, all the snow that we've had. And so where they were, they needed to be within their coop and run out of courtesy to neighbors, and needed to not have access to be totally loose and unconfined and basically free ranging, because they would free range onto the neighbors' property where they lived previously, and so the owners didn't want that. So when their enclosure collapsed, part of it collapsed in, they were then restricted to a small part of their coop and run, and the owner wasn't happy about that for them. And then with the freezing temperatures too, it was making it a real challenge to help the chickens and to repair their run that they had. So they opted to prefer to rehome them, and really this is going to work out great. So we're really excited to have them here and looking forward to getting them their own chicken coop. So my husband and I were just talking about plans on it today. So while she's thinking about laying egg here, was telling you about doing the 24-hour fast. So I started at 11 p.m. last night. So it's 11 a.m. or so the morning of January 21st, 2025 now. So I'm about 12 hours in. So I need to make it to 11 tonight to make a 24-hour fast. And I'm kind of thinking if I make it to 11 tonight, I'll just keep going till 11 tomorrow morning, and then I'll break the fast, and that'll get me, what'll that get me, like a 36-hour fast. So I'm going for that, because I've been doing some like 18-hour and 24-hour fast, and ultimately I am trying to build up to a 36-hour fast. But you know, it kind of I've read it kind of bolsters your immune system, and helps with the body kind of clearing out, perceiving and clearing out things that could be disease causers within the body. So that's my motivation for doing these fasts. Also, when I've done this, it seems to overall improve my digestion, and it seems to, a lot of times I struggle with joint pain, particularly in my feet and ankles and in my hands and fingers. But you come hang out in the cold like this, that's not an issue because you can't really feel your fingers. But all joking aside, when I do the fasting, it seems to, here we go, maybe. So when I do the fasting, it seems to, it must reduce the inflammation, because then I don't have that same kind of pain. Here you go, guys. Maybe she's gonna lay her egg. Well, maybe she's gonna turn around. I think she is fixing to lay the egg. So you know, they sit the nest, but then they kind of have to semi-stand and use a squat behavior actually to lay the egg. And so that squat behavior is really something you want to recognize as a chicken keeper too, because when you have pullets, when you have young hens that aren't layers yet, and they get to the stage where they're ready to lay, they'll start to exhibit that squat behavior when you approach them. Like if you would put your hand, I have a peanut gallery over here. Like if you put your hand down on their back, they'll exhibit that squat behavior. So so that's a behavior you want to kind of recognize. Hi, girl. Hi. Takes a lot of patience to wait for an egg. Hi, girl. Yep. And sometimes you wait and you don't get to see him lay the egg. So she may not lay the egg with us watching her, but yeah, because she hasn't yet. But I think she definitely wants to lay an egg, so we will. That's how it is. Sometimes you watch and wait, and it's just not the opportunity to get to see them lay the egg. But anyway, so we are doing, as I said, on the water back there, way back in the background, the smaller containers of water, just to keep, make sure they have water to drink. And we're monitoring the bigger water dispensers. So she's going back in there. So we figured the trays would freeze on those bigger dispensers, and we're just gonna have to keep water to them. So she definitely is a hen that's gonna want privacy to lay the egg, and that's totally normal. I mean, they just moved in here, they've been through a lot, and it's a total change of environment. So we'll let her work that out. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I hope y'all stuck with us. So this is a different hen. I knew she went back here. So the new gals have apparently all communicated and said, hey, this is the place where we're laying the eggs. So we're just letting her rest and recover there. But good girl. Good girl, way to go. Okay, so we will get that egg too. Because probably she looks like maybe she wants to get back down in there and lay the egg. So anyway, so we'll grab that one. So I hope y'all stayed. Sorry, I'm trying to get, my hands are getting cold. Hope y'all stayed with us. Let me try to show y'all the egg. Okay. Yep, and then so they've communicated. This is the place. So anyway, so yeah, I know there was several minutes there just waiting, but that's what it is, with hens. It takes them several minutes to get comfortable, to decide to lay their egg, but it's really cool to get to see it. Really cool to get to see it. So we had a few minutes probably of silence there, but like I said, I saw that darker feathered one jump back in there, and she really looked like she was ready to lay an egg. So I was hoping if we waited kind of patiently, we would maybe get to see that. So we will go up to the other building and check for eggs from those hens, but we'll be checking these gals frequently throughout the day, because that really amazes me. Really amazes me that they were just moved in here less than 24 hours ago, and their conditions have changed. And this is all temporary setup. They're going to stay here at our place, but they're going to get a new set of quarters to live in. And it just amazes me that they are getting right back on a routine of laying. So that's great. We're glad to see that. I had mentioned we did bump up to the 20% protein. They were on like probably a 15 or 16%, and our Rhode Island Reds here were on a 19% protein, and we bumped up to 20 just to help them with the feather recovery that we want to see them gain, and to help them fight the thermoregulation demands of the sub-freezing temperatures, and to give them that extra energy as they're internalizing and dealing with the stress of living in a new place. But this, we're going to let this be, because this is apparently going to be where these hens are going to use as a nest box, and we're good with that. So we'll check this area whenever we come in here. So let's go see the other hens. That one closest to us right there, if anybody has any guesses on what breed or type she may be, put it in the comments, let me know. She has some really pretty variation in her feather coloring. Really pretty. If you have any idea what breed we might have there, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Whew. So, it's cold weather. I'm not a fan. Try to keep the joy in my heart, but it's hard. It's hard when it's so cold, and I like hot weather. Like in the summer, I don't care how hot it gets. I don't know that you'll ever hear me complain about, you'll never hear me going around, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot. So I'm like, the hotter the better, because if you get to winter and you live anywhere that gets any kind of winter weather, I mean, I'd much rather have the hot weather than the cold weather. This is just, it's hard to work in. Everything takes longer. Your fingers freeze if you're trying to hold a camera. Hey, so a couple updates. I mean, you deserve to hear them if you've stuck with me this long. So we got a notice from YouTube AdSense today. We got paid. We got paid. Only about $120, but we'll take it. So we'll take it. So that's fun. So thank you for your help with that. Watch hours are going up. We're up past 3,600 watch hours for the last 365 days. I think 3630 maybe. So that's exciting. We're kind of on a trajectory where that seems to be growing by at least, cold again, 10 watch hours per 24-hour period. So, you know, we're kind of on a trajectory where hopefully within about a month, we see that metric tell us that we're at 4,000 watch hours over the last 365 days. So that's a fun update. Subscribers are growing. It's like 1340, maybe was the last one I saw. I'm trying to learn a new skill. I'm going to try to make playlists. So over the next like 10 days to 14 days, I'm going to try to go into our YouTube feed and make playlists of the videos from our YouTube channel, and I'll try to learn how to mark those public so that we'll try to group some of the videos together. So we're here at so we're here at our older girls. Oh, hi girls, I'm so happy to see all of you. Okay, so I'm also happy to see, hi girls, morning again. Good morning again, everybody. So I'm also happy to see, oh dear, I have to get back here. I think I have somebody. Okay, so I was afraid that she might be messing with this egg. Okay, so I've got actually a tomato steak. I used to have a grabber. I can't reach back there. So I used to have a grabber, and my arm broke. No, my arm broke when I was about 14, 12. No, my grabber for my eggs back in the corner broke. Aren't those pretty? So now I just I'm going to put some of that loose material back there. So now, because they love to lay eggs there, and that's fine. We're okay with that. I'm getting these girls. Thank you. So my grabber broke. So nice egg. Nice egg. Nice eggs for me to take in. Thank you. Okay. Very nice eggs. Okay, those are both green. They're probably coming across as blue in the screen. Okay, so 3 eggs in here right now. We had a couple earlier. She's a Moran. She's a pretty girl. So they still have food, okay? And they also, hi girls, Morticia, Elvira, or Morticia Elvira, but as a pair. The black ones, the total black ones are, so they're the blackout hens. They are Morticia and Elvira. And there's Phoebe. Hi, Phoebe. And you saw Puffy Cheeks. So those are our only 4 hens, so far at least, that are named. Okay, so also here, the water. So 5 gallons of thawed water, and our struggle is right here. So that's okay. There's still loose water on top, and I'm gonna actually get some more. This is the bomb. Yeah, yeah. We got down to sub-zero, and the water's still working in the frost-free hydrant. So actually, I'm just gonna run like 1/3 of a bucket in here. I'll have to pause. What I'm gonna do is pour water into the tray. So we've been just doing that for, like all the time. Like once an hour I've been doing that. Okay, I'm gonna shut that down. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pause it, y'all. Okay, so I'm actually gonna pour some of this into that till I top the tray. And so it's good. They come and drink. So I'll actually take this bucket over to the other group as well. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of my small buckets and fill them and put one in each of these. So they'll have those, but then we'll keep working on putting water in there, because actually we'll be able to gradually thaw that ice down out of that tray and remove it. But you know, yes, is there a better solution? Yeah, I'm sure there is. But you know, it's like some of the other things we talk about. Conditions are temporary. So if we can, even if it's makeshift, as long as their basic needs are met, if we can get through like the next 24 hours, things are going to get better, is the point we're at now. But yeah, that gadget right there, that's the hero of the small poultry farm at the moment, because it's worked throughout all this. Thank goodness. And that makes it so nice, because like there's their door. It's just steps to the other door. Down in the meat bird building, we have the one down there. So let's take my little path around the corner. So we're actually talking about at some point maybe not even using this building for the chickens anymore. We could store other things here. So okay, let me get the door. We'll get in here. Okay, so production red house. So we topped off water here. We fed them last night, and they still had food this morning. So we let them eat that down when we were in here earlier. So I'm going to get them more food. Okay, so we're going to pick up some eggs, though, while we're here. Okay, I got to reach back in here to get this one. I'll have to pause. Okay, nice egg there. Got a white one here. So that was laid by Leghorn. Okay, good. There's one in the corner. I'll have to pause to go back and get it. Okay, there's the same situation. All kinds of thawed water in there. The de-icers are working super, but we get freezing down here where it feeds the tray. So I'm going to get them a small bucket of water as well, but we're going to keep putting warmer water into that tray and try to work at thawing that. But once we get through the next 24 to 36 hours, we're supposed to be out of the sub-zero and single digits and be back up to freezing or above. So we get to that point, our de-icers don't have any problem keeping the water thawed, and we don't have any problem with it in the tray, because when we can position it under the heat lamps, that also helps us keep the trays from freezing like that. So we're getting each chicken household here a bucket of water to put in their pens. And I had said in the beginning, you know, shelter is a big asset when you're fighting cold weather, but water is the biggest challenge. So yeah, having shelter is a big asset because it just gets them out of the elements, protects them from the wind, keeps them dry. If you have a wet snow or, you know, any kind of misty rain, freezing rain. But even with shelter, water, keeping it free flowing, fresh, thawed, available, accessible all the time, that is a huge challenge. To me, that's probably the biggest challenge. So when you get down into sub-zero, you know, because just like seeing the spigot, we can keep it running. But then when you fill any quantity of it and set it static in their shelter, in their space, because it's sitting there, it's just a matter of time before it freezes if it doesn't get consumed. So even here, it's great to have the de-icer in the bucket, and that works well down to, you know, maybe 30 degrees or something. But then, you know, we still have to remember where it's gravity feeding into the tray. That could be an issue. So I've said before, sometimes we do ourselves more favors to just fill smaller quantities more frequently to keep the quality of the water high. But we ideally want to keep access to it all the time, because especially with laying hens too, if they don't have water, you're going to see two things happen. The feed consumption is going to go down, and the egg production is going to go down. So every animal that has to be outdoors, water is paramount, and it is a huge challenge to keep it thawed. Gosh, they're pretty. Those are black copper Morans, both those girls. So it's a big challenge to keep it thawed. Let's get water to the other house in a small bucket like that. And we're just going to keep that in place because, like I said, if we get 24, 36 hours out and we can get that worked out of the tray, we can keep them in water till then. Temperatures are going to get to a point where conditions are going to allow that to work well for us again. So we're going to just keep working here. All right. Okay, so this is a good temporary solution, but we do also watch that we set it on a level place and that they're not jumping in it, because when it's this cold, we don't want any of them getting wet. Hypothermia can set in so quickly. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is get feed for this pen. We want to refill these, and then I'll check the new hens again to see if any more laid any eggs down there. Okay, we got our feed ready to go for them. Feed is filled. Okay, so we want to do one last check where the new girls are for eggs. Here's a couple of them dust bathing. That's awesome. Okay, so let's take a look. So this one was back here too. And so there's actually an egg there. So we don't have any way to know if that is a different hen's egg and this one's trying to lay, which would actually be my guess. And then perhaps this one is wanting to lay an egg there. She actually rolled the egg out from under the other hen. Yeah, I can't read the room here on what the situation is. So I don't know if that egg was that hen's and she's finished. I don't know. If this hen still wants to lay, or if that was her egg and this one jumped in there. It's hard to tell since we weren't right here. I am going to get that egg that's there though. So this egg that we just got out of there, so I don't know for sure if it's one of theirs. I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling this might have come from the one that I think is a black copper Moran. But it's cool that we know this is where they're going to lay eggs. This is where they're going to want to nest. We got a nice little batch of eggs here, about 12 of them from all three groups from this check. And we had already got about 12 eggs from the hens earlier in the day as well. So that's great. We needed a minimum of 2 dozen today. So that's very helpful. But we actually have a first request list, or first availability request list, 28 dozen eggs deep. So, you know, we've told people we can't give you a timeline, and we prioritize subscriptions, but if you want on the list, we'll put you on the list and let you know when we get first availability to your name. So we just want to keep the hens supported and able to lay eggs to the best of their ability. So each day, that's what we're working on. But certainly rewarding to have livestock and to have a farm product produced from them. Definitely rewarding to work with people, consumers directly for farm to table products. But there's a lot of challenges. It's hard work, and there's a lot of management aspects that are hard to gauge, hard to predict, hard to work with, but it is really rewarding. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting our channel. Any YouTube creator you're supporting, when you let their videos play from start to finish, that's a big help to their channel. There's one of the Rhode Island Reds. So we appreciate y'all, and give us your feedback. We love to read it.